Three, two, one. Thank everybody for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. It's always a plus talking about the Cowboys. I do know that I'm a little late, behind on the sauce, behind on the news, behind on everything. But that comes in life, right? Comes with opportunities to be able to do things for your family. But looking back at the game collectively, this is the thing. Uh, we do have, and I do see a lot of reservation that collective Cowboys fans may have, and rightfully so. Looking back, going all the way back for 20 years ago, this team always had like a consistent level of winning, and we have yet to do that. So, regardless of who think that Tony Romo could, or Drew Bledsoe, or Tony Banks, or any quarterback that we had, if Vinny Testaverde, just naming out all the quarterbacks of the old, right? We still, and people still have their reservations on Dak Prescott, which is what it is. But looking at his gameplay all together, they did score on it. I think it was the second drive or third drive, something like that. And if you can just show that this offense, I'm predicting that this offense, this first team offense, is still going to put up 25 to maybe 30 points a game. That's what it looks like. It could be more if you add Ezekiel Elliott back there. So we're going to be really tuned into the to this dress rehearsal game. I think that will bring up everything. I think that will show the nation what this Cowboys is all about. And I really think that they can do that. But if you look at it from this aspect or this angle or this view, that we still have reservations on the offensive line depths. Those guys just falling out of the whims here. Backup quarterback didn't look that poised, didn't look that sharp. One could argue and say, well, the offensive line wasn't there. So I don't know for sure. Defensive tackle issues, maybe. I don't know for sure. I would have to really see how this team gonna look like during dress rehearsal. But one thing that it is a glaring need for us will be the safety help. I think that Xavier Woods out for 2 to 4 weeks going to trickle down to players that have less experience out there. And we do know that this is a young man's game, but also you have to be wise. You have to be knowledgeable of where to be at on the field. Now, we do know that Earl Thomas situation, maybe he's going to be on his team, maybe not. So I'm with the belief, yes, go out there and get maybe another veteran. Maybe you can use him as a camp body, because we're very thin at secondary as it relates to the secondary out there. Let me pull up my the chat box. Let me pull up the chat box. I'm gonna see what we have here. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's always, like I said, it's always a pleasure talking to you guys, and getting your insights, getting your thoughts out there. Shout out to Nash. He's in the building. Warpath, one of the coolest names. But let me give a shout out to the first person in the mix, the original whale. Oh wow! Shout out to you, man, John and Rocky, third place. John, you were close, man, but no cigar, right? But this is the thing. This team is designed and set up through Ezekiel Elliott, the core, the offensive line too as well. I think that everybody who has reservations on Dak Prescott and what they're expecting him to do, just pump the brakes, because everything operates through the running game and also this offensive line. Now the wide receivers, they're stepping it up. Okay. You guys see my guy, MG13. I think that's what he goes by, MG13. I think that's a cool nickname for him. My pet cat, Michael Gallup. I think that he's picking it up. He's going to be one of those starters. All we have to do is fight against the war of attrition. If we can win that battle, we can see a lot of things going in our favor. And favor is something that we really need. Alan Hearns, he looks okay out there. I think that the rapport, the consistency that they will develop through the years, well through this off season, we will see that matriculate. T Will, he's doing his thing. Remember, T Will is a superb route runner. He can run the routes. Now, as far as him catching the ball is a different story. But T Will he always was one of those guys that was able to create space when the plays is broken down. And that's how we was able to see that touchdown. Last year, he disappeared off the face of the earth. One can argue that Bryce Butler maybe pushed him too much. I always liked Bryce Butler during his tenure here. But, it is what it is. We're going to have to roll with the punches that we got now. Lance Lenore, I cannot leave him out, Savage Time. Shout out and salute to you, man. Lance Lenore is doing his thing. To me, if I go over this roster right now, if I just pull everything back, we do know that T. Will is going to start, Alan Hearns, and then you'll rotate, believe it or not, Lance Lenore and Michael Gallup. It'll be just those three there. And now, I do know that a lot of people are going to say, what about Cole Beasley? When he gets out there, they're going to put him into the mix. And the team still look good without Tavon Austin out there. So it looks like everything forming together. Oh, and Jalen Smith, Jeffrey. He's flying faster out to the ball. I'm telling you guys, we got a diamond. We got a diamond out of that number 54. All the fours are doing good. 54 is doing good. 94 looks sharp. 74 looking good. All those numbers that's ended in 4 is looking pretty good right now. Even 24. 24. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Man, that Cheeto Bear Woozier, when he caught that interception, I said, okay. Played the position pretty good. He took the underneath. And when you're playing the underneath route, he knew he had to help over the top help or safety help to come off the edges. And that's how Chris Richard wants you to play. You want to give him a little bump action and then have the what they call it is the trail technique. But he was able to catch the ball. And I like number 44. All those 4s ended in 4s like it's your year. I think Darius Jackson, father, have maybe they got to have the same daddies. Darius Jackson and Ezekiel Elliott got to have the same daddies. Somehow, some way, man. They look alike. They run similar techniques. I think that of course Ezekiel Elliott is just a little bit more polished. But when Darius Jackson plants his feet and he gets upfield, that's all I want out of my backup running back. And I like number 45, of course. I think that he can bring in. I like the fact that he finishes off his runs. He lowers his shoulder, fight for the extra yards, and able to catch out of the backfield. That's everything you want, right? But if Darius Jackson can stay healthy, and you sprinkle in Darius Jackson, number 45, and also Ezekiel Elliott, what he's going to do, because he's going to get the majority of the carries, we looking like we forming something, man. Shout out to Kevin Martin. Thank you for tuning in. Ari Temkin. My brother from another mother, no other. Don't look like Danny Glover. Keep on getting it going, man. Ari Timken, he said, go get Earl Thomas. Go follow his page, guys. Showtime. It's showtime. But this is the thing, guys. This is the thing. If we can formulate this offense to get anywhere from 25 to 30 points a game, we're winning. We are winning. We are winning because of this defense. It looks hungry. You're getting the pressure off the edge with number 94. And did I mention number 90? D-Law. Come on. All we need help now is you can figure out a way to get some more help into the interior of that defense. I think that Joe Thomas, I think that Jalen Smith and the other guy, they playing pretty good as it relates to the linebacking core. I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried about our corners. It's just that the safety, we're going to have some help on that. Carlos Warrior says Darius Jackson or Bo. It's a hard decision. But I really think that you might can get away with Bo being on the practice squad. And here's why. I think that the other 31 teams may have their reservation on his health. And with Darius Jackson, what he's presenting out there, I do know that Bo is just like it's a wonderful ideal to have Bo. But I think that Darius can bring you just a little bit more season on your entree. He can bring a little bit more to your bang to your buck. I think that that's what Darius can do, and I just like the way he runs short, low to the earth. Looks like he can absorb and grab most of those things, man, as far as contact. So I know that he had injuries too as well, but if we can figure out a way to have somebody just serviceable enough to spell Ezekiel Elliott, then we okay. That's how I look at it. And that could be all in the designs of things. If you think about this, if you think about the Tavon Austins of the world, right? If you think about the adding of a number 45, those things all come into play. I really do. Savage time, Kevin, because Chris is like his length. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, Chris Richard like his length on his DBs, off his backfield, but number 30 lost some opportunities out there. I didn't like some of his plays. I think number 30 still got a big question mark on him. But we'll wait one more week and before I can really get my final verdict on Anthony Brown. But I really think that Jordan Lewis, when I looked at the film, he did fold it up like a weak tent. Like one of them folding chairs out there. He could have blocked the guy down. He could have tackled the guy. And I don't know if he was making the business decision, whether or not he really wanted to get down and dirty and hit this guy. But he folded up like a little lawn chair out there. And the guy was able to skirt off the side and get the first down and beyond. So I don't like that aspect of Jordan Lewis. You got to figure out to man that up just a little bit. Lewis, man, shout out to you, man. Thank you for tuning in. For the people that's here right now, Brian Bradford, what we want more Rico. This is the thing. I love Rico. I want Rico to be on his team. That's why I said now, earlier on my video, that maybe the way how piss poor these secondary quarterbacks are playing, maybe you can sneak the quarterbacks on the second. Not second string, but practice squad. Maybe you can go with two quarterbacks, slide in four tight ends. Yeah, you can slide in 4 tight ends, and maybe lose a running back. Because Jameis Olawale, he brings so much extra to your team. He can be your quote unquote your extra tight end if in a pinch. You need that. I think that Rico will not make it on the practice squad. Somebody will pull him off of there. It's just one of those things where it's 3 tight ends, right? My number's off. Charge it to my head, not my heart. So we go with Jarwin, Swain. Oh yeah, I'm right. 4 tight ends because Schultz. I think that we could have used a extra DB in what round Schultz was drafted. Because I was looking at the fact that maybe we could have went defensive with that pick. I think that we kind of drafted Schultz too soon. I like the skill set of Swain. I like the skill set of Jarwin. I like the skill set of Rico. I think Schultz is maybe a down the line guy, but hell, I'm about winning now. The intangible. So Schultz was a 4th round draft pick. See, I mean, we could have did something else with that. To me personally, we need to be talking about safety situation. Do we need to go get another safety? Get Earl Thomas or George Iloka? I looked at George Iloka. He had 1 interception last year, 2017. Against the Bills, the horrible Bills, and look what conference they play in. I think that he could have got plenty of more interceptions against the Browns at least, but he only had one interception last year, and then 2016, I think he balled out. He had like four interceptions. He is a seasoned veteran guy. He's 28, so he's not as old as Earl Thomas. I think that if with him on the team, I think that he can add some type of veteran leadership. I think that that's very resourceful for this young team, especially as it relates to like week 5, week 6, week 7, when the temperature start changing a little bit. I think that somebody who's seasoned enough will be beneficial to the team. If not, if you want to go super young, then I like number 23. I like the 37 kid. You know, they're just numbers now until I just can really pick out and pull their names. You see, but Chaz Green, why Chaz Green is still on this team? Kevin Martin, that's a mystery beyond me. Chaz Green, like I said before, I know some folding chairs in Natchez, Mississippi that can block better than Chaz. But at this point, I don't know why. You know, I think that you can put Tavon Austin back there. He probably can block better than Chaz. Kelvin, I think you can block better than Chaz Green. But it's just one of those things where he's on the team. I think that his team takes a lot of pride, and they don't like to cut people that they feel highly touted on as far as drafting. So I don't know. We will see. You know, hopefully he can step it up this next game, and Chaz Green can be like lights out, the Chaz Green that we saw in 2016. But Chaz Green fell off the face of this earth, man. My 5-year-old can get around Green. I seriously believe so, you know. I don't know, man. Chaz Green, I don't know what they're seeing. I don't know what they're seeing out there. And maybe he got some hitting tapes on Jason Garrett. Maybe he walked in on Jerry Jones doing something that he didn't supposed to be doing. Maybe, just maybe that happened, you know. just all fun and games, guys. But it is what it is. Stevie Mac 23. Yeah, Eric K. No one talks about that at all. He was running the wrong routes without the Camp 2. Who was running the wrong routes? I'm catching this conversation on the back end. Who was running the wrong routes? Thoughts on Jalen? Ready for a breakout year? Josh Skinner, I really think that this guy will have a breakout year. I'm telling you. The way he flew out to the ball, captured the edge. The thing is with your mic, you want the mic to be able to cover the edge. Anything that's happening out there to the edge, you want to see number 54. Now, on top of that, especially playing the cover 2, anything up the middle, down and out in distance, you want that number 54 to be in the mix, especially your tight ends, your slants. You want number 54 to be somewhere in the proximity. That's why it's always wonderful when you have that good defensive front 4, you know, the good guys is the interior. Whereas your guy, if your linebacker can fly around, especially at Mike, and be free and run it and get those assignments, it looks pretty good. And another thing, what I saw with his defense, I saw everybody, even with the second and third team, I saw them flying out to the ball against the run. I like that group tackle. Coach Rod, during training camp, I always like to show like the safari, the animal, the lion, the beast, the bear, the lion chasing the gazelle when everybody is prowling and flying out, the explosiveness of the way the animal attacked. It was a documentary, and I wish I could find that documentary, when he was coaching for the Chicago Bears, and the way he was using this safari tape of how the animals attack, that they all gang tackle the opposition. That's what I'm looking at. When I'm looking out there and I'm looking at, and although we have yet to win a preseason game, remind you guys that preseason, this is preseason. But I'm looking at the way they fly out to the ball, the way they attack. Normally the first and second team. The third and fourth team, they garbage, man. they keep losing the game for us. We get the win if we was just like from first to second quarter, but it is what it is. But the way that this team is flying out to the ball, aggressive, we have more takeaways this preseason than I counted back in, I would say, the last 5 years almost. And I can hope, we all can hope, that we can get more takeaways during the regular season. And shout out to Eli Manning because we play him week 2. I think that we can get a lot of interceptions that game, But Peyton Ratliff, this is not true. They still want $8 million or something like that in dead money over the salary cap, or he costs them dead money in salary cap. I don't know. Maybe you guys were talking about Dez Bryant. I just hope he just go ahead and sign with a team, so that we can get most of the people who's just diehard Dez fans and who love Dez Bryant more than the Cowboys, so that they can just move on, and so they can see and elevate themselves over to, or push and motivate the team that he signs for. Motivate, whatever. I hope that can happen sometime soon, but I think Dez talked too much, and that's the reason why he's not signed right now. Our second and third string. Hold on. Chris Long. Let me see what I can read. My contacts are getting dry. Our second and third string is trash. Hey man, it is what it is, man. They do look poor out there. Piss porous performance. Just whiffing out on some of the tackles, and it looked like they just not been used to playing together, leaving some assignments open. But when they do tackle, I do like the way they wrap up and get people down. So, I mean, we'll see. But I really still, deep down in my heart, think that this team can still average anywhere from 25 to 30 points a game, which will put us in the top tier of the league. And then if our defense can be stingy and hungry just a little bit, if we can fight against this war of attrition, we'll be okay. Yeah. Who else we got? Quest Cowboys 6. What's going on, man? I'm tired of losing players because he can't get his ass under the salary cap. Yeah, but it is what it is. What do you think about the fact of starting defense have yet to be scored on? Peyton Ratliff. Yeah, it's a good question. What do I think about the starter defense have yet to get scored on? I think that means the world. That means the world. And it means the world. I do know that I've been saying, hey, it's preseason. Hey, man, preheat. The apple pie is not ready to be eaten yet, right? So chill out. This is what I'm seeing. Normally, I'm seeing a team that methodically move the ball down the field. I'm seeing Dak Prescott knows when to throw the ball away, when it's time to throw the ball away, right, on their offense. And then I'm seeing him punching it in for the score, which I put a little green check mark by that, okay? I'm looking at the individual plays. I'm looking at the lineup. I'm looking at what setup they are coming out of, whether or not it's 11 personnel, 12 personnel, whether or not they line up and when they're in the red zone, money zone. This is what I want you guys to do too as well, whether or not they're using the jumbo package with 23 personnel with 3 tight ends and 2 running backs, or whether or not they're doing more the RPO, run pass option, or whether or not they go into a 12, or I seen it one package that went into a 13 personnel, and they do have different groupings out there that I'm looking at. And then on the defensive side of the ball, when it's time for the defense, I'm looking at this right here in situational football. When this defense is out there, I'm looking at what they're doing when it's second and short. Who's out there? Who's not out there? What type of setup? And this is what I've been really giddy on. I'm giddy like a little high school girl to a prom date with the best senior out there, or vice versa. I'm sitting here saying, okay, this is what this defense is doing on 3rd and long. They are really, to my eyes, they are really lining up everybody. Mano a mano, man-to-man defense on 3rd and long. It's been years. It's been since Coach Zim been out there that we did that type of defense on 3rd and long. So I'm looking at the implementation of what Chris Richard is bringing to the team. And I'm seeing what Chris Richard is working with Rob Marinelli on his cover 2. Because I think that Chris Richard really want to run a cover 3. But we looking at everything. And that's what I'm looking at during the preseason game. But it is what it is. We need some better second stringers. This is D. Wilson. This is my other thing before I wrap this thing up and before I run. when we talking about the second string, the second wave of free agency after this training, after cut day, after everybody did their evaluations on their draft picks, they're going to look at it, and if it's a tie or if it's close to a tie, normally the veteran guy gets the axe. Just like Greg Iloka. You know, they picked up a guy that I was really high on, Jesse Bates. And they were looking at it like, hey, we got a young guy, young fish. It's looking like he's learning this whole defense. Let's just go with the younger guy. Let's not take reps away from the young guy. Let's just go ahead and move on from Greg. And we're going to see a lot more Gregs that cut down the line. So all I can say is my only preference would be is that when you have the older guy now in camp, now learning and understanding what the philosophy of what Rod is trying to do and what Chris Richard is going to do, it will make him better for week one. But now if you get a guy like week 4 of the preseason, maybe, you know, the latter part of the preseason, it takes him a while. And then you always have the threat of the injury bug to come around and knock on the door and be like, hey, what's up? Let me holler at you, you know, about that hamstring. So those are the issues that we may have. So just moving forward, there's going to be a veteran guy supposedly to be signed by the Cowboys. It's just a matter of time when. And it is what it is. Sucks for Showers. Yeah, Showers is now hitting the showers. He tore up all his legs, man. Hope he jump back pretty soon. But that's all the time I have for today. I really thank you guys for your time, for liking this page, following the page, following the Patreon. I got the full game on my Patreon. You don't have to pay for anything. Just click the link, go to the game, watch the game, enjoy the game. It's all love from the nation. I really want you guys to enjoy this weekend, enjoy the next game. Don't get too much into this thing, man. It's just preseason. Just enjoy it for right now. Root for the third and the fourth string guy. Find you one guy to root for, because I mean this football can change that man's life. And you know, it changed Tony Romo's life. You know, it changed Dak Prescott's life. You know, these guys is just like on the bottom heap of the depth chart that don't have a chance. Just find you one guy, you know, and like Tyree, I'm really rooting for him. I'm rooting for number 39 and 37. I really hope these guys can figure out a way to get their minds together to make this team better, you know. But neither here nor there. I got Law Nation's podcast. That's LAW Nation. You just type that into any podcast, and you should see either my face. It's okay face or logo. You can check that out. Don't forget to join my my Laws Nations Facebook and Instagram. I go back and forth with a lot of people. I try to answer their questions on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter each and every day. And we're going to get this thing going. Beard gang all day, even twice on Sunday, guys. Oh, yeah, Lance Lenore. See, Savage Time, that's what I'm talking about. Root for that guy. You know, that's my guy, number 14, too. You know, somebody asked, how many guys do you have, actually? But he was my last year pet cat. Like I'm yelling out pet cat for MG13. That's a cool name, MG13. He was my last year guy. And pretty much once he's my guy, he's always my guy, right? But you know, MG13 is showing up, and I really want him to make extreme bounds this year and surprise the world. And it can happen. So it is what it is. Young Wilson, salute. Shout out to you for joining in. It's always a pleasure. 8082 as well. Shout out to you. It is what it is, guys. Every day, even twice on Sunday. Salute. Peace. That's all the time I have for today. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. If I had my 300 music, I'll be jamming out right now, right? Peace, love, and fish grease, baby.